Hello guys, how you doing today? My name is Johnny Santos, and I am making this video because there's something that I want to share with you guys. If you read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, one of the topics that he gets into is financial statements, right? A financial statement is made up of a balance sheet and an income statement. So an income statement and a balance sheet, pretty much, right? And there are financial statements, for the poor. There's a financial statement for the middle class, and there's financial statements for the rich and wealthy. It's the same financial statement. It's just pretty much what's on the financial statement that determines whether you're poor, middle class, or rich, right? So one of the things that Robert Kiyosaki gets into is pretty much being rich or poor does not, how you say it, rich or poor, it's not about how much money you have, but the knowledge that you have and what you choose to do with your money. Because you can go ahead and win the lotto today for $1 million, and in 2 years, spend everything. The $1 million are gone, right? So you receive the $1 million, and then you spend it. You didn't do anything with it. You didn't make any investments. You didn't start a business, nothing like that. So pretty much that's a poor mindset, right? Now, let's say you have this other person who, is working a 9 to 5 job. He makes $12 an hour, but all the money he's making is going to, an investment or a part-time business that he started. He's working his business, and then he basically is building an asset which keeps putting money in his pocket. So now you have this guy who's working for $12 an hour, building a business, and then you have this person who won $1 million by winning the lotto. So what I'm trying to prove here is that rich or poor, it's not the amount of money you have. It's pretty much about the knowledge and what you choose to do with the money, right? So let's go ahead and let me show you guys what a financial statement looks like. So a financial statement, again, as I was saying earlier, is made up of an income statement and a balance sheet, right? So this is what it looks like. So here we have income. This square is for income. This square is for expenses. This one is for assets, and this square is for liabilities, right? So the financial statement of a person who has a poor mindset pretty much looks like this. This is their job. This is the income that they make, right? And these are their expenses, and then everything is just gone. See the pad? Everything is gone. So this is the money you make from your job. This is the income that you get from your job. You spend everything, and all the money goes out the door. And same thing happens again and again. So that's pretty much what, a financial statement of a person who has a poor mindset looks like. They never even get into assets or liabilities. And just a quick reminder, assets, I know that when you go to school and you're taking accounting 101, your professor tells you that an asset is anything you can potentially, sell, right? But you see, that definition is a problem because it confuses people. In financial terms, an asset is anything that puts money in your pocket. A liability is anything that takes money away from your pocket, right? So, your accountant or your financial planner or even, those people in Wall Street will tell you, oh, yeah, your house is an asset. If you're living in in a house that you own and it's taking money out of your pocket, it's not your asset, it's the bank's asset. Now, if you bought a house and you're renting it out, you have tenants in there, then your house becomes your asset. Same thing with a car. If you buy a car and it's called the car's taking money out of your pocket every month, for the expenses and stuff like that, then it's a liability. It's not an asset because money is taking money away from your pocket. Now, if you bought that car and you will rent it out, let's say to a taxi driver, right? And he's paying you every month to rent your car, then that takes your car from a liability to an asset, right? So, that was the asset of, that's the financial statement of a person, who has a poor mindset. Now, we're gonna get to a financial statement of somebody in the middle class, right? So, a middle class person, right? So they call people in the middle class a glorified, poor mindset person. Why? Because the people in the middle class, they want to live like the rich, but they're not really living like the rich. I'll explain why. Again, this is their job right here. Now, the income that they make goes to expenses and they acquire liabilities. You understand? Liabilities, remember, what's a liability? Anything that takes money away from your pocket. So they go ahead, they buy a car, they buy a house, they have, they put everything on their credit card. Let's say they buy a boat. Just stuff for them to use, but again, it's consistently taking money out of your pocket, right? So if you don't have no assets to pay for these liabilities, what happens if you lose your job? Your job can disappear because it's not secure. But do your liabilities go away? Do these bills go away? No, they don't. Right? So pretty much everything goes to this column right here. It's from your job to income, expenses, and then liabilities. So now, this is a financial statement of somebody in the middle class, right? Now, I'm going to show you the financial statement of somebody who's wealthy. And again, wealth is not measured in money again, it's measured in time. How many days can you go forward without having to physically work a job? So let me give you an example. If your monthly bills are $1,000 a month, right? And in your savings you have, let's say, $5,000, and you lose your job today, you're wealthy for 5 months because in your savings, you have $5,000, so you can pay those bills for 5 months. But then after that, poof, everything is gone, right? So let me show you what the financial statement of somebody who's rich and wealthy looks like. So, if, let's say, if you have a job, right? And the job pays you X amount of dollars, which comes to your income. You have expenses, but those expenses are because of your assets. So, again, job, income, expenses, acquire assets, right? And then this assets produces cash flow, produces more money. Goes back up here. So now you have money coming from your assets and money coming from your job. And, you make a loop around the circle here. This is why the rich are rich. And this is what makes them wealthy. Because the money that they make, right? And the income that they earn, they spend it on acquiring assets. Instead of, acquiring liabilities, stuff that takes money away from their pocket, they focus on things that put money in their pocket, right? And now, when these assets are pretty much taking care of your bills every month, right? You no longer need a job. That just disappears, right? So now, these assets could be made up of, a house, right? That you bought and you rented out, and that's generating cash flow, right? A car that you have bought and you rent it out to a taxi driver, or you rent it out to people, pretty much, and you're making a monthly income out of that, right? Then you have stocks and stuff like that. Commodities, which is like gold and silver, right? So that is what a financial statement of somebody who's rich and wealthy looks like, right? So what I'm trying to say, guys, is that if you're trying to basically, get ahead in life, you should be focusing more on assets, which is anything that puts money in your pockets, because that is what's really gonna get you far in life. I know that there's those of you who don't want to work for somebody else for the rest of your life, and I want to share this information with you so you can understand how to get ahead, because this information is out there and it's available, and maybe it's never been brought up to you, or maybe you haven't really tapped into the resources that are around you to find out this information. But it's a simple plan. All you have to do is invest in assets, a business, real estate and stuff like that, commodities, gold, silver. Those are stuff that can be, potential assets if you use them correctly. Right? So again, I'm going to draw this one more time for you so you can understand. Look for ways to acquire more assets, not liabilities, more assets. The more assets you have, the wealthier you can become, the more freedom you can have, right? So if you work in a 9-to-5 job, and you're making income, then it should be going to this column, because this is what's gonna take you from being, from having a poor mindset or a middle class mindset to having a, rich and wealthy mindset. So this is where you want to be. Your assets to be reinvested, back in your business, You understand what I'm saying? This is what I wanted to explain to you guys. I hope, this was good information for you, and thank you for taking the time to watch the video. Have a good day. Bye-bye.